Hello everyone, welcome to Live from the Studio. I've got m.0 today and we'll have to chat. I think we'll chat a little bit on producing and remembering your patch. But first, here's the intro. Welcome back everybody. So I've got m.0 with me. Hello, how are you doing? Oh, sorry. Hold on. I muted this tab.
Oh.
Here we go. Now we can hear you.
What's up, everyone?
Yeah, I've got Alphaster, that say Waza. I've got Peter Clark. Alphaster say hi to m.0.
What's up, man?
I've got Dylan Sang and Sensor Music and Malaki, who's just waking up too. All right, so I'll go a little bit on the news page first, so everybody knows about my site, pitchymango.org. What I wanted to let you know today is if you click on this link, so you'll have the link before you heard about it. If you click on this link, there's a calendar invite, so you can put this event in your calendar. It will remind you every Saturday to come up here and check all the guests that I have. I want to thank all my supporters on Bandcamp. It's about $20 a year, and that helped me to do this show, pay for the bandwidth and extra costs and everything. So thank you for all these supporters that are helping me make music and make this show and invite people. And what did I see a little bit this week? So yesterday, Susan Chiani released a new album. And I think it's an album made from old recording that she had, and then they dusted off and put it together in an album. It's a mix of electronic music and piano, so it's quite nice. I've seen also Johnny Woods released an album recently, and I think it's part of the Modular Synth community, and so please check it out. And m.0, if you have got any, if you want to say something about any album, then please feel free.
No, the stuff I have right now is just me messing around. So
no, it's on the. If
later
on. Say something about the news or something like that, please feel free.
Okay.
I've got also our Reid. Malarkey is part of this label, and I think the latest release was John Wells. I need to do a plug. I'm still selling my DVD quadraphonic of the last album. So please. On other news, I think there's an album also. Eki Shola is releasing an album, and I think she's got a stream this evening. So if you want to be part of the release, I'm pasting the link to the Beer Improviser event where you can get more information on Eki Shola. She's local. She does a little bit of synthesizer jazz, so please have a look. This Tuesday, we've got Resident at the Virtual Laundry. I got a couple of submissions. I haven't updated the page yet, but I know that Dylan sang, I guess Kezol, Manifold Theory, and a few people also are preparing a video for this Tuesday. So here's a link to Resident. So if you want to participate, it's easy. You upload a video unlisted on YouTube, 20 minutes. Any electronic music, as long as it's your music and your performance. And we'll have a watch party together. What else? Peak is coming back. I think we'll have Shibaba, and I forgot who's the next. There's no event yet. I participated in the first restart with Fez. Fez is a course of Resident 2. So that's the YouTube channel. And recently, when was it? Thursday, I participated in New York Modular Society streaming with Renku Corporation. Damn, I can't say this. Dangerous Hands and the Bug Chaser. You need to understand the lead. So if you want to watch it again, it's on Twitch before it disappears. Here is a link. And I think I've got the last one. Modular World, which is South California, is having a show in a couple of hours, in 2 hours. So you can finish this one, have lunch, and come back to watch this one. All right, that's all the news. Alpha Star, Sensor Music. Peronosphora is here, No Robots. Dylan Sang, Peter Clark, Alpha Star, Malarkey. Welcome everybody to the show. Hi, m.0. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. Trying to wake up. Not really a morning person, so giving it a shot.
Yes, well, it's very nice to have you today. We'll have a piece.
Good to be here.
Yeah, we'll have a piece with you a little bit later, half past, and then we can talk about your patch. Yeah, I think I met you, maybe that was at Robot Speak or something like that. Saying, this is a usual place where people.
Yeah, actually, we met at a dinner Danny came through a couple years ago.
Oh yes,
Yeah,
I remember.
when I first met you.
Oh yeah, we were. Danny had put an open call to put some background music during the set at
Robot Speak, yeah.
Yeah, and then invited everybody, and that's how we met.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did a track, you did a track, and then we met.
Yeah. So we kind of go back now.
Yes, indeed. And I've got Danny next week. So
oh, cool.
My guest next week is Danny. So we'll be able to talk about that and the show he used to do in San Jose, Binary Society, and also his magazine. I saw you just released a single, Reset.
Yeah, Reset, and then I did something right before that. These are more just me experimenting. I'm trying to figure out, I'm experimenting with different workflows. If I have something that I like fairly decently, I'll throw it up. So this is one of those.
Okay, and what are you say experimenting with different workflow? What does it mean?
I'm trying to incorporate my modular with the rest of the studio. So it's because everything I've done since I've gone modular has been live one take performances. So now I kind of want to sit down and do like a proper studio album. So I have to just figure out, or I have been experimenting with figuring out different ways to integrate it with other hardware and then the computer so I can multi-track. So this was this particular single is the first test of that.
All right, that's cool. Yeah, I spoke with I think it was Malaki and I guess Hugo, maybe Nathan also. The difference of recording live and then recording in the studio and trying to have stems so you can layer things.
Yeah, I keep going back and forth on it because I love playing it live because it has an energy that you don't get through traditional means. But I like multi-tracking because it lets me get in there and process individual tracks. So it's just something I keep going back and forth on. And when I multi-track stuff, it just doesn't capture the same just energy and groove as when I go live. So yeah.
I want to tell to people here is a link also if you want to join us on the video chat and ask a question to m.0. You have got two options. You can put them in the chat and I will relay, or you can come on the video chat and ask them yourself. Distortion Production is here, so Danny joined. Awesome.
What's up, Danny?
I saw him in the chat. And that's also your Facebook page.
Yeah.
Oh, I've got a private chat. Let's remove that. And Old has gone join. Yeah, so I think you were a producer before going into modular synth. And
I'm a little bit of a jack of all trades. I'm a producer, composer, songwriter, engineer, sound designer, just a bunch of.
Oh yeah, I forgot my yeah.
What was that?
Yeah, I forgot my usual starting question. Who are you?
Who am I? I think the short answer is I'm just a dude that loves making music. But professionally, I've kind of always been a jack of all trades. So I started out as a recording engineer way back in the day when we were still using like Studers and stuff like that. And then during that, I was also a session musician for a while, back when I could still play. And then I've done sound design. I've produced bands. I've produced my own bands. And then I got into video game sound design, and that kind of transitioned me into composition. And so yeah, so for primarily the last couple decades, I've been most of my day job work has been composition.
Okay. And you say you are a session musician, so what instrument were you playing?
Oh, keyboards. I've always been keyboard. And especially back in the day, if you were a synth guy, you can, someone needs strings or just random things. So that was kind of cool. But I've messed with other instruments. I've played trumpet and clarinet and orchestral percussion and a bunch of different stuff. But my primary instrument has always been synthesizer, keyboard synthesizer.
Any synthesizer of I don't know that you like or any? Or
There's too many. The first synth that I've ever played, which I never owned because it was too expensive, but the first time I ever saw a synth in person was a Jupiter 8. And so that still is my Hall of Fame favorite synth. But yeah, if I didn't own it, I played it in because some of the studios I worked at had a lot of different synths. So yeah, it's always hard for me to say any particular one synth because they're all just different flavors,
yeah, a couple of them that you're fond of, or I don't know.
Yeah, probably in terms of real world usage and the synth that I really bonded in terms of understanding the concept of synthesis was the 106, Juno 106. So that will always have a special place in my heart because just yeah, you can program it so fast and it's such a simple synth that it's easy to branch out from there, So that one in particular has a special place in my heart. But yeah, no, it's run the gamut,
Yeah, there's so many, but I don't know. Like my first sense was a core game one. I still have it, but
I sold mine for rent. My very first synth was a CZ101, and yeah, I love that synth so much. I used to love it because I do recording sessions, and I'd roll up to the studio with and everyone would laugh at me. Where are you going with that toy? But then you just throw down the fattest basses on that, and everyone's all respect when you leave. So that synth definitely has a special place in my heart.
Yes, that's an interesting relationship with something that or instrument. So, before I ask this question, Distortion Production join, All That Gone, Jonathan Feather, Charles Johnson is here also. They say good morning. Charles Johnson say I love this guy.
Love you too, bad.
And so that's cool. So when did you move from synthesizer to modular synthesizer? How was the evolution and what triggered it?
Well, I've always been into modular synthesizers since I first got into synthesizers. That was just like the ultimate thing. But at the time, it was just no way I thought I'd ever own one, because these were like the Moogs and the Roland System 700s and stuff. But and I always thought that would be my eventual evolution. I always felt that old synthesizer guys at some point just go modular. So that was always in the back of my mind. But I couldn't afford it, and I got into a lot of computer-based modular stuff. So the first one I got into, and this will date me, was Turbo Synth. And then a bunch of other ones. I got into Reactor hardcore, and then I started getting, when Eurorack first came out, it definitely piqued my interest. But the type of work I was doing at the time, it was more about speed and meeting deadlines. So it didn't seem a practical investment. I think around 2015, I started stepping back from production work. I was kind of burned out, and so it just felt like a good time to start inching my way in. And then I was also getting really burnt out on, software-based stuff. I still like them, and depending on the project, I'll still use them. But I really just missed immersing yourself in an instrument. So I would say about 2015, 2016 is when I really started going there. And ironically, during that time is when I started to get like really reclusive. So I was this is a good time to go in there, and yeah, I've been totally obsessed with it ever since.
Yeah, that's nice. Yeah, and I've seen you performing at Robot Speak. You came to perform at Resident a couple of times. That was cool.
Yeah.
And Resonant Frequencies also.
Yeah, it's funny, and I do appreciate all those things, because what's funny about it is I thought getting into modular synth would really send me underground, but it's a good enticement to go and get out and play, so I appreciate there's stuff like that around. It's an excuse to leave the house.
Yeah, there's quite a nice community here in the Bay Area, and I'm discovering other city communities since a lot of things are happening online now. I've connected with the Colorado Modular Synth Society and the New York Modular also, and I don't know what's the music scene normally, or I hear horror story, but in the modular scene, seems everybody's encouraging everybody.
Yeah, I mean, they all have their pros and cons. I definitely love the fact that in the modular world, there's definitely people helping others, guiding, and even me, even though like I kind of, I'm kind of reclusive, as I said, just seeing everyone do their thing, it's just been super inspiring, because there are times when, you're feeling like, just a little not as pumped, but then you see someone out there doing their thing, someone like you who's always doing some crazy thing, so I find all that inspiring.
Yeah, no, that's interesting. Yeah, it reminded me also, when you came at the office when we were doing in Wobble, and I had a colleague that was he was a good guitar player, and when we were doing a mixed modular plus guitar, and I didn't know to talk to him, music wise. I said, I don't know, I turned some knob, just try to catch up, and you say, oh, hold on, I'm going to give you a scale, and then you just follow. And that was interesting, the mix of classic music experience versus modular.
Right, and that's the part I miss about like the other type of music communities, is that there are people with different instruments who come at it with different philosophies and approaches. And so I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot from guitarists, I've learned a lot from drummers, all stuff that influence what I do now, and how I think about stuff.
Yeah, I kind of understand the scales and the chord, but I've learned a little bit music, but I haven't practiced much. But how to talk with people that are on synth, guitar, or whatever, and then get them to work together with modular is quite interesting too.
Yeah.
I've got who joined, I think Peak joined, and Ben. I think she will be on the next Peaked.
Cool.
Yes, so everybody's saying hi. So reminder, if you want to ask a question to m.0, put it in the chat, or if you want, just join the video chat, and you can ask your question yourself. But if you have a question, please feel free, say hi. I've seen you also at one stage. You are going a little bit glitch.
Yeah, that's something that's always. It's more like I'm getting back to glitch, but that was at that particular moment. But I've been into that type of stuff pretty hardcore. Because like I said, I spent a lot of time in Reactor. To the point that my wand tattoo is a Reactor tattoo. So I was very into IDM and brain dance or whatever people call it now, and but that's just one slice of what I'm into. So I like to. I'm not always successful at it, but I really love just taking elements of all sorts of stuff and try to combine it and see what comes out of it. So yeah, it could be dance 1 minute, experimental another. I'm I'm trying to figure out how to do funk and experimental, so that's a long-term project. So just different things like that. So glitches is an element of that, and it's something, yeah, that I've been super into before. So every once in a while, I'll tap back into that. Yeah.
I've got a distortion production asking, so why both the matriarch and grandmother? Isn't a grandmother also usually a matriarch?
Actually, they're surprisingly very different sounding instruments. I got the grandmother first, and I totally fell in love with it. And then, the matriarch wasn't until a year after. But because I loved the grandmother so much, it made getting the matriarch a no-brainer. And they're actually a brilliant pair together. But they do have slightly different sounds. I think the matriarch is streamy as hell, and then the grandmother is just, I can't even describe it. It just has its own vibe, its own sound. But yeah, surprisingly, they're pretty different sounding they have different vibes.
Yeah. Also, as you are here, don't forget to click subscribe, follow, go on the m.0 page, and also follow him on Bandcamp and subscribe everywhere. Yeah, it's interesting what I don't know, Mug is doing and the evolution, and I don't know, the different product line. They just released recently the subharmonicon, and then there's the Graal of Mug, the Mug One. I don't know,
Yeah, I love their new generation of stuff. The grandma was actually the first Moog I've ever bought. Well, no, the second one, because I had a Mother 32. But I like their the mini Moog and stuff, but it always felt a little aggressive for my taste. So the Mother 32 just reminded me of that old school Moog modular sound that actually made me fall in love with synthesizers in general. So, and then I have a rule now that I won't get a synth that's not at least semi-modular. So those two, the grandmother and the matriarch, definitely fit that bill. And I just love that. It's yeah, I can't explain. It's chiller than Lil Fatty and all, which I think are great synths, but I just love that old school mellow vibe on them.
Yeah, it's interesting, and yeah, I think what makes them more so interesting, or I don't know, I advise people when if you buy a Mother 32 or semi-modular to start. Get yourself a reverb on it. That's that fatten the sound and that makes it. I don't know, and I think that's what the grandmother and matriarch have got a spring reverb on them, and
the grandmother has a spring reverb, and then the matriarch has that delay. The delay is killer. I mean, yeah, even just having those two separate options, make them very different instruments.
Yes. Yeah, get some effects to fatten a little bit the sound, because
Right.
if you play it only, then it's nice, but sometimes it's a bit dry, and just a little touch of reverb or delay is giving
Right.
it's opening more doors.
Yeah.
Alphaster say he love his Mother 32.
Yeah, it's so mine broke, unfortunately, but yeah, I just love that sound. It's just that I remember I remember when I first got it and I was messing with it, just listening to just the pure tone off the oscillator, I was just like, whoa, now I get the 60s, because if you're in 1960 and you're hearing this stuff for the first time, it's crazy. So yeah, it's just such a beautiful sounding instrument.
Yes, indeed. Peter Clark say, if you could only get one, would you recommend a DFAM, Mother 32, or Subharmonicon?
I haven't messed with the subharmonic. You're the guy to answer that. I haven't messed with the subharmonicon, and the DFAM. I very briefly messed with, but they're all three very different instruments. It's really up to what you're feeling. I like just kind of some cinematic kind of feeling sounds. So for me, the Mother 32. But I think the DFAM is crazy, and then the I can never say that word. Subharmonicon. I haven't touched it all, so I can't answer that.
Yeah, I would suggest to Peter again Mother 32, because DFAM and Subharmonicon are a little bit specialized. I would say DFAM is a drum machine, not a drum machine, but it's a drumming instrument. And the Subharmonicon is, has got a very specific character. And the Mother 32 will teach you the basic of sound design. It's got two oscillators, I think, 2 or 3, I forgot, 2 oscillator, filter and a VC envelope. So that will teach you the basics of sound design, and that's got a good range, it's got a sequencer on it and a small keyboard. So that will get you started and understanding what's the component, and you can add a drum line with a DFAM, or you can add some interesting sound. I like to put my Subharmonicon, I call it in drone mode, with very long envelope.
Nice.
That makes it interesting. And the new release of the Subharmonicon, they fixed a couple, or they improved a couple of things, like there's a quantizer, because it's very hard to tune if you want to tune it.
I was wondering about that.
Because, each pitch knob is kind of an infinite combination. You've got 4 pitch knob and 4 pitch knob, and you don't know which one is going to, which matching pair is going to work. Because the sequencer is moving randomly on each one of them. Kind of randomly, it's time division. So they added a quantizer, so like this, at least you stay in the scale. It's easier. Otherwise, it's micro tuning and making sure everything is fine and perfect. And if you want to tune it, it takes time. So they fixed that part. That makes it a little bit easier. And you can remove the quantizer, so you can have fun with your own tuning.
They're really doing some interesting stuff.
Yeah. I was hoping to go to Mogfest again and see what's next, but I don't know, maybe next year.
Yeah, hopefully.
Jonathan Feather say he loves his DFAM, is ruling over the Subharmonicon. And Distortion Production is asking, what's the single most inspiring album or band for you growing up?
Oh, man, that's a hard question. Let's see. I can give 4 the album or artists and albums that pretty much are why I'm here today. First is Bob Marley, because I'm from from St. Thomas, U.S. Virgin Islands. And I think I was like 9 or 10 when I heard that. I was already, writing my little instrumental piano things. But when I heard Bob Marley, it made me want to be a songwriter, because I never thought that music could have that kind of power. And just Bob is feeling it, So that still inspires me. My next album, would be anything produced by Quincy Jones, because that I taught myself how to arrange listening to that, to his stuff. Um, Prince, because not so much musically, even though the music is awesome. He was the first person I heard of about making their whole records by himself. So that made me want to be an engineer. And then Kraftwerk, because well, Kraftwerk, you know.
Yes.
And so those are the four that I think to this day affects how I approach music.
Yeah, yeah, and sometimes I like in the Prince because he sometimes experiment a little bit by putting some crazy sound in the background.
Right.
And I've discovered also recently that there is he redid the Tempest. There's a drum sound of Prince.
Oh, yeah.
So he's got his Tempest bank, and where you can hear he's got a specific Prince sound. So sometimes you can
I mean, I'm sure like a lot of people can name drop Prince because from that era, but because I was already into I was into music from a really young age, so I was already into arrangement and production, but I didn't know that it was something you can do by yourself, So, so finding out that he recorded everything on his own just totally changed the trajectory of my life,
Yeah, especially at this time, that was, I guess, something. Because I don't know, today it's easy, and you can do your own,
right.
You can do everything yourself.
Right. At the time, that was just mind blowing,
Yeah. Nowadays, you just need the skills and experience, but everything you can do it yourself. Before you need to, get a studio, get a producer, get audio engineers, and because I've got equipment that you didn't have access, and plus you needed somebody that had the connection for doing the marketing and releasing.
Right.
No, we just upload on YouTube and we are good.
Right. I mean, I would have always been a musician, but I probably wouldn't have become into production and recorded engineering if it wasn't for Prince, for sure.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, and Bob Marley is also cool. I went twice to Kingston.
Ah, jealous.
So I went to visit his house, and that was quite cool. Because his house is now a museum.
Right. Yeah, just like music was just this thing that existed until I heard his stuff, and to this day, like if I write something, even if I think it's good, I won't put it out if I'm not feeling it, just like you listen to Bob Marley, it's like, man, this dude is feeling it, and that's just very important to me. Just whatever kind of music I do, like just I don't want it to be just like this mechanical thing, it's music for me is a feeling, it's an expression. So that's probably the most important lesson I picked up as a kid.
Yeah, this is the stuff I'm trying to do and I perform is forget the technology and just go in.
Right,
what do I feel right now? Why do I feel to turn this knob? I've got the right feeling for turning this knob. I've got the mood.
Right, because I think that's the one downside of just being able to do everything is sometimes you get lost in the technology and you forget that music is expression. It doesn't matter what gear you have. It doesn't matter, with synth people, it's all about the gear, but then with classical musicians and jazz musicians, like, oh, what's your chord choice? It's like that's not really. No one cares. People just want to feel it. Having whatever that emotional expression is. That's just what it's about. Everything else is just the technology, the education. It's just learning the tools to capture those feelings, and it's easy to fall into that because when I was starting out, it was all about being clever, you know? Oh man, they need to know that I know my stuff, you know? And your music doesn't come out that good when you think that way. So I've really just been focusing on just expressing what I'm feeling, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's interesting. I try to learn my patch and, rehearse it, but then when I perform, I don't know where I'm going.
Right. And it's just how you're feeling in that moment, you know? That's actually the thing I miss about live performance at the moment, because just so much of my performances are just, I'm feeling the audience, you know? I'm feeling just their mood, my mood, and then that affects how I play and what I play, you know? So that element I'm deeply missing more than I even thought I would.
So I think it's a right transition to see how you're playing.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
so let's go have a look on the little performance piece you've been making for us. Before I get there, so I see, David Polan Wabi Sabi has joined us also. Remind people, subscribe, visit m.0 Bandcamp page. Let me put back the link. Follow him there, learn about what he's doing, and let's have your performance, and then we'll come back and talk a little bit more about your gear and and the mood and how you created this piece.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, see you all in a moment. Ah, was awesome, real cool, and nice stereo effect. And
Thanks.
And thank you also for taking a picture of your gear so we can, we can see what's happening. And I see the Bob Marley poster.
Oh yeah, at every studio I've ever had has had a Bob Marley poster. That's where my vibe comes from.
Yeah, so people, Alphaster, Anna Hogband, c'est very nice. It's getting Ella m.0 in here, all that's gone. Dylan sang, this is great. David Portland, love the funk.
Thanks, you guys. Thanks, you guys.
I don't know, a lot of emojis. I'm not going to translate the emojis. I could get in trouble. This is how I imagine Matrix for OST, peronosphora. And Dylan sang, what I love about Maurice's stuff is that it's very musical. Even in an approved session, there's a sense of arrangement and deliberateness.
Thanks, dude.
Yeah, and Alpha Saya, I like to listen m.0 while walking around the city, especially at night, some dystopian vibe.
Nailed it. That's the soundtrack for it.
Yeah, you did an album, I think, with Danny, which was like, I remember the picture, in San Francisco at night. Oh, I'm confused.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. Yeah, I tend to, just, I used to be, well, I still am, but it's too real now. But I used to be into the whole cyberpunk thing, and just that whole aesthetic. So that also has a huge impact on the stuff I do.
Yeah. So if you want to ask a question to m.0, just type them in the chat. I will relay. Yeah, everybody's clapping. Maybe let's not talk about gear, but let's talk about inspiration and mood and what was your mood and how did you come to that?
Well, what inspired it is the fact that you're doing this in the morning, and I'm not really, actually, no, I'm totally not a morning person. So my inspiration, so it gave me the idea of just doing a soundtrack to waking up. So the whole piece is about waking up and just getting out to your day, starting your day. So I just wanted to start just kind of, small and just, just that feeling of just, okay, I just woke up trying to get conscious, and then slowly it ends with you starting your day and going out about.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, the rise into energy levels.
Right. So, that was just the inspiration that popped into my head when I was just like, I have to get up early. So the music should reflect that.
So which part is when you get coffee?
Probably when the beat comes in. Because usually my day starts, I wake up, I go for coffee, go for a walk, and if I'm working on stuff, that's when I listen to stuff. And then on to the day's music.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I've got a couple of questions.
Sure.
Dylan Sang say, let's talk about gear. What are your main voice in the Euro?
Let's see. Well, and I've mentioned this time and time again. Probably my main voice is the Roland System 500, because just like the Mother 32, it just puts me in a mood. Then I have a couple noise engineering things just for the grit, and then Platts. So those are probably my core voices.
Okay, and All That's Gone is asking, do you handle tuning your oscillators?
I use a tuner. I use a tuner to start. Well, if it's super experimental, I won't. But yeah, I have a tuner that I use a lot. Everything's pretty stable. I have this. Oh, one other oscillator I have is that Erica Synth wavetable oscillator. That one's weird. I always have to tune it every time I turn it on.
Okay.
Yeah.
And yeah, you tune them all to I don't know, C or something like that.
Oh, it differs. I try to, especially if I'm doing an album, I try to set a different tuning for every track. If I'm really in a nerdy mood, I'll do relative keys. So like if I start with something in like, I don't know, A minor, then the next track will be C minor or F minor, or just I do stuff like that just to give it the whole album an overall feel of motion. So but I never stick to one key.
Okay. Yeah, that's interesting. I don't know. I rarely tune my oscillator. I think I must be mad.
I remember that. No, I'd go insane because I don't have perfect pitch or anything, but I am really sensitive to keys and tempos. They'll drive me nuts if it's not like, and the thing about tuning is that once it's in tune, then I don't have to worry about it. So it frees me to get more expert. I can push it because I know like it'll work, so I'm not fishing around trying to find two different parts that work together. I just know they're going to work together. So it frees me to be really expansive in how I experiment with stuff.
Yeah, that's quite cool. Yeah, I don't know. I've got a tuner, so I don't know. But yeah, I'm playing it by ear, and
yeah, no, I mean, there's no set way, because
I have the feeling that I don't, I'm maybe not yet listening correctly yet, but
yeah, but that was just one way of doing it. Like, there's so many different approaches and so many different results, and you can actually, if you tune by ear, you'll come up with scales that I wouldn't come up with, so. Yeah, there's no rules, just do whatever works, and if I'm doing something super experimental, then I won't tune.
Yeah, no, there's no rules. There's I don't know,
right
recipe that you like,
right,
but rules are meant to be broken,
right.
Yeah, no, that's cool. Yeah, and you've got quite a gear collection, so I guess you don't carry everything when you perform?
No, the middle two racks are what I perform with, and then the top two skiffs are just my auxiliary stuff that I use in the studio that I don't use live. Sometimes I'll swap stuff out depending on what kind of stuff I want to do live, and then the very bottom one is my drum and percussion skiff, which I do use live, except I have an MPC that I'm using that's off frame, and then that's gonna probably replace my live at least for a while. Well, whenever that happens, and then that other one off to the left side is primarily submixing stuff. I can submix the Moogs into it, and I can submix drums, and then I can send stuff from the modular to the MPC with that side skiff. And then the Platts is on there for now just because I'm messing with the Erica synth, and that's kind of it.
Yeah, that's cool. And I don't know, are you working on an album, or are you going to release this tune, or?
I'm gonna. Well, yeah, that track is a one-off, never to happen again. I'm about to start an album, which is why I was saying earlier that I was experimenting with different workflows. So I kind of started already, but this next album, I want to be a studio album, you know, because like I said earlier, everything I've done has just been one take live performances, but I haven't used the power of modular in a studio workflow environment, you know?
And I think, you know, when we were preparing this show, you were telling me that you are going to try also to record this patch so you can, you know, recover it.
Oh yeah, and then by work with this album, I'm hoping I don't know if this will work yet or not, but I'm hoping to, by approaching it the way I plan to approach it, I hope to have elements that I can reproduce live. You know, I mean, I'll still do improv stuff too, but I think it'd be neat to like, because sometimes I do come up with tracks that I think would be great live, but there's no way to reproduce it. So I don't know if I'll be successful at that or not, but it's something that's fun to experiment and see if I can do. Having an MPC really opened my thought process on what is potentially possible.
All right, that's cool. Peronosphora is asking, you know, what was the name of this track? You say it's
Waking up in the morning. I don't know. So I really am horrible with tracks names. Usually it's like the very last thing I do, or like if sometimes like the track will inspire a word or something, but just a track. It's kind of like packaging. It's just this thing you have to do to package a track, you know. So. So yeah, so this doesn't have a name.
Yeah, no, that's quite cool. Yeah, we're getting a little bit at the top of the hours, so I think it's time to
cool.
unwind slowly. Yeah, no, that's you know, that's really cool to have you. Sensor is saying, yeah, great show. Oh, Peronosphora, she says she's trying to find it on Spotify.
This track? Yeah, it doesn't exist.
Yeah, and but I think I don't know. You should check on Bandcamp, and yeah,
I might put it up on SoundCloud. I sometimes do that. So yeah, you inspired me. I'll have it up there in the next day or so.
Yeah, or on YouTube, or anyway, you can rewatch this.
Oh yeah, I'll put it up on, and I'll put the video up on like Facebook and YouTube and stuff like that. So
all right, so plenty of opportunity. So like this, that obliges you to go and follow m.0 everywhere. So like this, you're alerted when you put it online.
Yeah. So
all right.
Yeah, I'll be. I hate putting dates and stuff, but yeah, hopefully tomorrow or something.
Yes, you've got some fun, yeah. So she says thanks. I'm gonna go and redo a little bit of the news, and then I'll give you the word of the end.
Cool.
So, let me change the main screen. So yes, you know my site, pitchymango.org, please have a look. I want to thank all my supporters on Bandcamp. It would be awesome to have more people on Bandcamp as supporter or as followers. I saw that Peter Clark just started to follow me on Bandcamp, so thank you very much. Susan Gianni released a new album which is made of recording that was done. I think I was reading the synopsis sometime around the 73. So that's quite nice. It's a mix of piano and electronic music. So if you want to, I don't know, Back to the Future, have a check on this album. I saw that Johnny Woods, I think he was performing recently at the Colorado Modular Synth Society Festival. I was on it, and he just released a new album. There's a whole gang of Air Grid that Malarkey is part of, and I think the last release is John Wells. Please check Symphony, my last album. It's quadraphonic, so if you want the quadraphonic, you need to get the DVD. It's 5.1, so you can experience quadraphonic at home. Quadraphonic in your bedroom. Eki Shola is coming later at 7 p.m. for I don't know, release party of our last album, and I think she got some kudos in the press, the DJ Mag, and some other place. So you may want to check that. The Improviser is this Tuesday at 8 p.m. at the Virtual Laundry. I've got a couple of tracks. I think I saw Dylan Sang. I saw no, that's why I think Kezol is maybe doing something, and name escaped me. Anyhow, I'll update the page soon. You've got Peak. I think Peak is here, so Peak can talk in chat when is the next one. It's the third Wednesday of the month. I think Anna will be one of the performers, and I forgot who's the next one. But Peak will say it. I performed last Thursday with New York Modular Society. Very nice stuff. Renku and Dangerous Hand and Bugchaser. You can check it out. It's on Twitch. And I think in a couple of hours, maybe in 1 hour, you've got Frequency Shifts from the South California Synth Society. That's something to check too. And don't forget to go on Bandcamp and follow m.0 and get ready of all his release. Or if you want, you can also go on the Facebook. I'm gonna give the Bandcamp link directly to this album, and then
cool, yeah. From
there, then you can follow where this rabbit hole is going. It was nice.
Yeah, because I don't even know yet. So.
Well, I think people will figure it out and follow all the links, and I guess once the show is finished. It's really nice to have you and have a conversation, and I don't know, remind ourselves, I don't know, where we come from and how we met and how did we get into Modular Synthesizer.
Yeah, thanks a lot. This was fun. It's good seeing everyone. Miss you guys. I miss seeing you guys play and just see you guys in person. So, yeah, this is cool. Thanks a lot, man.
Yes, and I think also during the break we were talking. You're always looking for interesting projects. So if people have got interesting project, contact m.0.
Yeah. I'm semi-retired from doing a lot of that stuff, so I'm really focused on my own stuff, but I'm always open to if something's super cool.
Okay, so that sounds cool. All right, so who did I have today? I'm trying to go back on the chat. So I had Jonathan Fetzer, also known as Sven, Anna Hogben, Sibalba, I think it's our artist name, Malarkey, Peter Clark, I say thank you to both of us, Alphaster, Sensor Music, Dylan Sang, Malarkey, All That's Gone, DB Polan, also known as Wabi Zabi, I think I say All That's Gone, trying to go back in time. I think I've got more or less Sensor Music. I think I've got everybody. Oh, Charles Johnson also was here. That was cool for him to join. That's really cool. I'll let you.
Thanks everyone. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. I'll let you the word for the end, and I'll launch in outro.
Keep rocking, everyone. Keep making tons of awesome stuff that you all are doing. So I'm definitely a fan. So thanks again.
Thank you very much, m.0, and have a nice weekend. Bye.
Yeah,
everybody.
You too. See ya.
See ya.